I am Linda Fox, I'm with PhocusWire, and I'm with Dara Brady, and he is Digital Director at Ryanair. Thanks for joining us today in the studio. So I just wanted to start with how much kind of complexity, maybe from your perspective as Digital Director, has the group restructure caused?
Well, at the moment, we're still in the infancy of building out the group, so we'll have, as it stands, we have Laudamotion as one of the airlines, we have Ryanair, the existing airline, we have Sun as an airline, and in terms of digital complexity, we're actually keeping it quite simple. So the way that we're approaching it is to have a master template almost, and then each airline picks up that template from there, and will have certain nuances, but generally the same technology stack will run across all of the airlines, the same infrastructure will support all of the airlines. So from a simplicity point of view, it's one of the key things that we want to do is keep it very simple.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense really when you think about it. So looking at your team and the projects that you have ongoing, when it comes to things like you want to get budget from the board, how do you, how easy how do you go about it? What's it like?
Yeah, well, I think as with all businesses, I think we're very commercially driven within the department. We have to align to our core business goals, which is generally going to be something that's driving revenue or reducing costs. So I think every initiative that we're undertaking is valued against what would it deliver against our core metrics within the business. So as long as you can prove the value of the stuff that you're trying to do, it's easy to get buy-in. I think if it is stuff that is, more or less tangible, I should say, it can be more difficult. But we generally always try and prioritise on the initiatives that we think is going to serve the business the best.
Sure. I suppose we always all think of Michael O'Leary, and maybe there's some sort of scenario where he's going, no, you're not going to spend any money on that, and then you're all sent away. And I guess it's probably not like that in reality.
Yeah, no, look, I think Michael has been very supportive of the digital transformation that we've gone in the last couple of years. I think, if anything, if we look back over from where we were 4 years ago, we now have 3 labs, we have over 600 people. Like that investment wouldn't happen if you were if you didn't have buy-in from the very top level. So I can only say that, he's been very supportive in terms of the stuff that we're trying to do. He sees value in it and has been delivering for the business.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So then let's talk about a specific project, which is the website. I understand the new website's coming soon, and I understand that quite a big element of that is personalisation. BoxEver deal was mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So then how really close do you think you can get to personalisation?
It's the great question within the industry, what is even through personalisation? We're very excited about it. I think the starting point of the new platform is, we're moving from a platform that is generally rules-based and manual decision, where we will have over 20 algorithms powering the experience. I think that's somewhat unique within our industry that we can get to it. I think the core of all of that is to be able to get a true view of your single customer.
Sure.
We've invested with BoxEver to help us achieve the dynamicness of pumping data in and taking data out. But I think that we believe we'll be very close to getting as close to a one-to-one experience as we can in the site, generally through leveraging machine learning.
And walk me through that. Imagine I'm a Ryanair customer and I've come on and I've booked a flight, and I may be part of my Ryanair site of the website. So what am I going to see after I've done the flight search, I guess?
Yeah, so if we take it as a customer and we identify you up front, so whether you're logged in or we match your visitor ID to you as a profile, we'll see here's Linda, and in real time we will go and we'll look at your profile. So we may see things like, okay, well, Linda is generally a twice-a-year flyer, she travels in leisure, this is what she booked the last time. We will start using that information to, in real time, make recommendations around the products that we think you're likely to take. So whether that's the category of accommodation, whether that's the category of transport, or whether it's the upsell of certain products in the booking flow. And that may be as simple as, last time Linda travelled, she took priority boarding. So make it easy for you to just take what you took the last time. So personalisation takes, in its very simplistic form, it's take what you took the last time through to, based on everything we know about you, here's hotels that we think that you'd be likely to stay in. So, but instead of that being a manual one-size-fits-all decision-making process, it will be powered through algorithms.
Now, obviously, Michael talks about Amazon of Travel, Ryanair. Kenny talks about it a lot, and I've seen kind of slides on presentations where, this is kind of Amazon of Travel now, and this is where it could be, and it wouldn't just be the directly rated travel products. It could be much, much bigger. Can an airline really do that?
Well, I think the starting point, and this is why one of the other big aspects of the new platform that's coming later in the year, completely turns it on its head how an airline site actually functions. So when you do a search for a location, we're no longer thinking about dropping you straight into a flights flow. We're actually giving you shopping categories. Do you want flights? Do you want accommodation? Do you want transport? Do you want things to do at that location? So the very starting point is that we're reconstructing the site into be more of a, you're going to a location, what is your requirement? So the mentality automatically shifts from just being my task here is to book the flight to being much broader. And I think the second part of that, I think it's always a challenge for any airline to try and break into that space, because what someone comes to do is generally the task of, I want to book a flight. But I think the big change that we see is that when, two elements to it, is that when you change the model from just being a linear flight flow that has an end process, and then someone has done that task to say, I'm done what I want to do, I'm going to get out. So changing that mentality through a reconstruction of how we position the site. And the second is actually using data to put smart recommendations in front of you that you're likely to take outside of the flight. So whether that's your accommodations or whether it's you're in Amsterdam and you want to do some stuff this evening, the closer we can get to making better decisions, the more likely we are to break into the space of buying more. Because I think consumers, at the end of the day, do you really care where you buy your transport ticket from the airport to here from? Do you really care who you book your accommodation from, as long as it's the nice hotel? Like, I'm not sure there's that much loyalty within the industry where it will be, I'll only book with a booking.com, for example.
But I guess if you were the trusted brand, then, it could be the elements you're saying there, but then also, your groceries when you get home, perhaps your cat sitting, I don't know, it could go in all sorts of directions.
Yeah, I think generally we try to think of it in the 4 core pillars of what somebody typically does. Like you fly there, you get around when you're there, you stay there and you do stuff. Yeah. So, I think one of the key aspects of it is that you don't become too diluted in, because you can get down to the nice ideas of order your shopping on the plane and you're there when you get home. But the reality is we need to take each of the core pillars and say, look, can we service a need in those pillars? Can we provide value in those pillars? And if you do that and you do well, you might earn the right later to do it elsewhere. But I think, Amazon Travel certainly for us is even playing a bigger part in those 4 big journeys as opposed to playing a very big part in one core aspect of the journey.
Yeah, so sticking to your core kind of airline type business. Yeah. So other emerging tech, AI, voice, machine learning, which of those, or maybe all of them, do you see as having the greatest impact in the shortest time in travel?
Certainly I think machine learning is
you're probably already using?
Absolutely. And I think most businesses are, and I think it's an aspect of that's going to grow and grow within the business. And I think it can give you very quick results in terms of, very simple stuff, even in terms of making sure that if you send an email even, we see more where machine learning just isn't in a platform capacity anymore. It's, if you're sending an email or a push message of, well, what to send you, is it an email or a push, or the time to send it, or the content that's in it.
Those simpler tasks to be,
So even, machine learning is starting to play a part, not just in complex tasks like your, calculation of maybe fuel burn, down to, simplistic things like, putting the right content in an email. So I think there's loads of quick wins in that. I think the most likely one that will come after that is, I think voice will grow over time. It will be a slow burn. I don't see it being today or tomorrow, but you can easily see how it will transition to being part of the booking experience in the next couple of years. And the others, I think, are relatively, immature, I'd say, within the airline space or within the travel space. It's hard to know, lots of nice ideas around augmented reality and virtual reality, but I'm not sure if there's much of a commercial reasoning behind it. Yeah, blockchain is an interesting one. Again, I think it's an area that is generally untapped. I think there's some startups doing some interesting stuff in it. It's not an area of focus necessarily for us at the moment. But again, it's kind of like, I would view it as almost those wait and see as it develops, where you can leverage it within the business. I don't think anyone's going to jump out and say, well, the reversal of that is how do we get blockchain into our business? I think it's identifying a need and then seeing is that the technology to solve it.
Because actually blockchain is one of the ones that's quite often mentioned in the whole biometrics and actually digital identity side of things in terms of its security. So do you think we'll ever get close to this idea of a seamless travel experience?
Again, in time, I hope so. But I think at the root of...
Don't we all?
But at the root of a seamless travel experience is that true identification. Now, whether blockchain is a way of achieving that, I'm not so sure. It's unproven, I suppose. Its ingredients would suggest that it could, but I'm not entirely sure that we've seen it manifest itself in that way. So I think we can get close to a seamless experience. Will it ever be truly seamless? I doubt it. I think there's lots of things in play that will prevent it.
There's a lot of stakeholders involved for sure.
And a lot of stakeholders involved as well. So, as you say, we all hope we get there. I think we can get to a much closer version of it than we have today. But what that looks like will keep evolving.
Dara, thank you very much again
You're
for
very
joining
welcome.
us.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.